And the Oscar goes to... 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 Welcome back, everybody. Episode 204. It is our recap of the 2025 Oscars taking place just this past Sunday on March 15th, hosted by Conan O'Brien. So if you have not had a chance to watch the ceremony on Hulu as a pre-recorded episode or had a chance to even watch it live, like myself, because I went to another concert this year, similarly to last year, then welcome to our recap, where we will go through every category and discuss the winners and our thoughts on the winners in said categories. V, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm feeling pretty good because I'm mostly happy about this ceremony. There were some winners I wasn't very happy about, and some that I had just pie-in-the-sky dreams that would win, even though I knew they wouldn't. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with this year's Oscars. I was happy with most of the nominees. I watched most of them. You watched all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly feel better than I did a year ago after the last Oscars.
Yes, I do as well. I was able to take a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Very deep breath, because luckily we were not subjected to really anybody from last year, except for, I think Zoe Saldana did show up this year, and so did the one girl that won for that POS that won Best Picture last year. Luckily, that was kind of it. But I still have some issues with this year's ceremony. Not necessarily the winners, kind of everything else. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. If you're new here to Movies You Miss Podcast and you're here to listen to this recap, welcome to episode 204. You've got 203 episodes to catch up on, especially because this year we also dropped our 2025 recap, which is an episode where we discuss every movie that we saw and put them on 3 different lists: a should-miss list, a could-miss list, and a cannot-miss list. So if you have not had a chance to listen to that two-parter, give that one a shot. It's a lot of fun. But we are not here to talk about those movies, although in a weird sense we are, because those movies, majority of them, were all nominated this last year.
Yes, they were.
Sweet. Let's jump in. 98th Annual Academy Awards, hosted by Conan O'Brien. I thought the opening was great. If you haven't seen Weapons, it's going to be a little bit different for you, but that is exactly how Weapons went down, with the kids chasing Amy Madigan's character and everything like that, bursting through windows and doors and all that madness. I thought the Conan O'Brien makeup and everything was... it was on par of, obviously, Amy Madigan in Weapons and Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very entertaining. And overall, there were so many technical issues at the Oscars this year during the broadcast. Now, granted, I don't know if that happened live or if that just happened during the previously recorded episode that I watched, but mics were not on when they should have been. There were late and early music cues.
Mm-hmm.
There were problems with fading in and out on stage. I don't know who was directing this year's Oscars for the telecast, but you fucking suck, man or woman, whoever you are. Terrible, terrible technical issues that never should have happened. On top of that, the Oscars felt very strange to me, and it's very likely because of what's going on in the world right now. I can completely empathize with all of that, but I'll tell you right now, Conan O'Brien looked like he was terrified to be on that stage this last week. I did not think that he was fully there, and he just kept kind of like batting his eyes left and right, like, what the hell am I doing here? Was that funny? Are people laughing? It just felt very, very loose and very unrehearsed to me.
I agree about the production, especially because you know what to expect as a director of the Oscars. They've done it, as we just said, 98 times before.
98 years.
Or 97 times before. And so there's really no excuse at that point,
no.
Right? And so I agree with you. There were some jokes of Conan's that I really liked, especially in this monologue. When he was talking about last year during the Oscars, LA was on fire, but this year everything's great.
Yeah. He definitely had some good moments, absolutely. Yeah. I certainly laughed, but overall, though, I just kind of felt bad for him. Like, I was just kind of sitting here like, dude, why are you even there right now?
Everything felt awkward. And there wasn't much energy to this Oscars, which really was, I think, the bigger issue is that there wasn't a lot of buzzing in the room, right? Everything felt very much like a foregone conclusion in a lot of ways. I'm wondering if that was the feeling and that's what the issue was.
Maybe.
My favorite joke of his for the whole night, though, was when he was joking about Hamnet and when Agnes goes into the woods to give birth, and he says, or as we like to call it in America, affordable health care.
Yeah, that was good.
So there were some...
He said something else, too, that was really good, and he goes, let's see him put his name on that. Like, I thought that was hilarious.
That was
That was really good.
So for both of us, it sounds like we didn't have a problem with Conan hosting. We thought his written jokes were good. It just was missing something.
It was missing a lot
spark.
of something, and big time. Yeah, I watched it on Hulu the day after because I was at a concert the night of the Oscars itself.
Well, you also had to
And
work. Let's make our
I also did have to yes,
clearer
yes.
to our audience that you didn't just blow off the Oscar ceremony
Right.
with me.
No.
That you were
Similar
working.
to last year, I had worked and I had concert tickets. This time I actually got put on a list for this show, so I ended up just going because it was right next door to the bar.
And
But
your shift ended well into the
9:00.
Oscars
Yeah.
ceremony. That's what
Yeah.
I want to make clear is that it wasn't that you didn't want to watch this.
No,
year's
I didn't
Oscars.
just like, meh. No, I really
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
And I also don't have live TV, so I would have had to watch it the next day anyway. Or, you know what? No, we've been able to watch it live together. Either way, whatever. I watched it late. I watched it Monday night, and exactly. Missed a spark. There just didn't seem like anybody was having a good time.
Except
And
Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, she was having a great time.
Hey, I'm here
Cool.
for that energy. No,
Totally. No,
I
like,
became a fan of her
I'm
at that ceremony.
I'm saying, like, yeah, she had a
Tiana's
lot of
awesome.
energy. She was the only one, like, jumping up and down during certain, like, most wins. Like, she was excited for everybody.
Yeah.
It lacked a lot of cinematic love for me because there just wasn't a lot of any. Oh gosh, even the In Memoriam. Why did they bring Barbara Streisand out? I get that they had a whole thing, but that was awkward for me to watch.
Well,
In my own personal opinion,
I thought,
that was
especially because
strange.
Billy Crystal did such a good job.
Billy Crystal did great. Yeah, the whole Rob Reiner thing was awesome. And then, yeah, the In Memoriam, not the In Memoriam was weird. That was good. But then bringing Barbara Streisand out, I understand she's an older woman, no big deal, and I know her impact on the industry. My wife is a major Barbara Streisand fan. I don't have any issues with her at all. It just felt weird. It felt like she didn't want to be there. Like, just personally, that's how it felt like to me. When she was singing and then she ended, I was like, does she even want to be there?
Well,
I don't know.
because she had
it was
only ever
strange.
made one movie with Robert Redford 40-some-odd years ago. Why didn't they have one of his friends out there? That was my biggest thing. Rob Reiner and
It's
Billy
like-
Crystal were good
yeah.
friends.
They were BFF,
Bring
yeah.
someone who had made a bunch of films with Robert Redford or was a longtime
Right.
friend of his to actually honor him and who he was as an actual person, not just an artist, right?
Completely agree. Yeah, she did one movie with him. Maybe they had a romance that is in Barbara Streisand's book that nobody knows about, and maybe that's why she was brought out. But it's like it's similar to the whole thing with Catherine O'Hara's memorial the other night with Seth Rogen reading it. Like, why the fuck was it him? Like, why was there nobody else that she worked with for over 30 years?
I think that was just recency
doing this?
bias given that she was in the studio and that's Seth Rogen's show.
She was in 4 episodes of 10.
I
Like,
know.
what-
I
come
don't get me
on.
wrong. I don't disagree.
No, I know you do, but I'm just saying, like, it made no sense that
No.
he's up there like, "Ugh." It's like, no, dude, you worked with her one time. Like,
Yeah.
let's bring Eugene Levy out, Christopher Guest, Parker Posey, for
Yeah.
crying out loud. Like, where are the real
Danny
people?
Elfman.
Either way. Danny fucking Elfman sang with her. Yeah, either way.
It just wasn't memorable. And that's all we need to say
it
about
wasn't. Yeah, Conan was still good. The Billy Crystal thing was awesome. Okay. I think this was the worst part of the entire Oscars. Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., and Channing Tatum. That was fucking stupid. That was not even funny
with
at all.
The
whole
sequin
Magic Mike thing.
That was
yeah, that was
awful.
dumb,
That was dumb.
as hell.
It was cheap.
And what's crazy
it was
is
an old
John
joke.
Cena walked out. Yeah, well, John Cena walked out on the stage at the Oscars naked 2 years ago, and that was fucking hilarious.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
And
Whoever
this was
whoever
stupid.
wrote the skits, whoever wrote the jokes, don't write for the Oscars again.
Yeah,
right, that's
don't
it.
do it again.
Yeah. So now that we've shit on this year's Oscars for the last 10 minutes, let's talk about the awards.
Just a little bit. yeah. Let's move on to the awards because I have a lot more that I could say about the ceremony. But either way, it still was good to see a lot of things win. So let's move into the first award. I'm going to start us off with the first award because I know that I saw the winner and I know you actually did not. Even though we were supposed to see it together, weather-wise, it did not work out for us to see this movie together. But let's get into the nominees for visual effects at the 98th Annual Academy Awards. The nominees were Sinners, The Lost Bus, no idea how that happened, Jurassic World Rebirth, similar statement, no idea how that happened, F1, and Avatar Fire and Ash. And it's to nobody's surprise that Avatar Fire and Ash was the winner of visual effects. I will say, for Avatar Fire and Ash, I enjoyed the movie. I saw it one time. I saw the first 2-3 times each in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Avatar Fire and Ash, I'll own the 4K. I'll tell you right now, though, I don't know how often I'm going to watch it.
I'll watch it only because it's our tradition. And so I want you to force me to watch it at some point when I'm at your house, but otherwise, don't care. I guess for The Lost Bus, the fire was a really big deal. So.
I guess.
God, that movie sucked.
Yeah, that movie really was not that great.
No.
And the F1 visuals were cool. The one cool thing I do like about the Oscars that they finally have brought back over the last few years is like when they do visual effects, they show you the layering of certain scenes and like how it comes together.
Showing clips again finally made me
showing clips
so
finally.
Happy.
So I actually was very impressed to see a lot of the F1 visual effects, but there was going to be no contest. It was always going to be Avatar.
It's always a given whenever Avatar is nominated in this category. And I think that F1 and Sinners should have been nominated, but in terms of a film-changing crew for visual effects, it's always going to be Avatar, so it makes sense.
Yep.
So after visual effects, another technical award we want to discuss is Best Sound. And I will say this every year. I don't care that I say this every year because it's important. There should be 2 categories for sound.
Yes, there absolutely should.
But until then, we only have 1 category, and that is just Best Sound. And the nominees were F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Seurat. And the winner of that category, I'm pretty happy with, just because it became an Oscar winner, and I love the film last year. I know you weren't a huge fan of it, but I could see a lot of these movies winning and be pretty satisfied because all of them had great sound effects. Great sound not only added into their movies, but also the mixing was good for all of these films. And that's a big thing for me because sound mixing has been a huge issue over the last 10 years in TV and film. So being able to actually hear what everybody's saying without your eardrums being blown out from an explosion 5 minutes later was just a big relief for me. So F1 winning, pretty happy with that.
Definitely.
And now I can say that F1 is an Oscar-winning movie.
Very happy to see F1 win. The sound is damn good in that movie. I did see it in theaters and I saw it at home, and it's a cool flick. I just didn't love it like you did, V. And I thought the sound creation and sound mixing and everything was really badass, especially for all the racing sequences.
Well, thank you for that respectful take. I appreciate that, given our conversation at the recap episode.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it after the Oscars did end, and I was like, I guess I really didn't hate any movie that was nominated this last year. So that's a pretty good thing.
It is. We are not fans of One Battle After Another, and we'll talk about that more repeatedly throughout this episode, actually.
Yeah.
But I understand why the Academy liked it. I understand why a lot of people are falling over themselves for it. It's just... It just didn't do it for us.
Yeah, and we will talk about that in length in just a little bit. Moving on to the next award, the technical awards that we are going through. Production design is next. We have Frankenstein, production design by Tamara Deverell, set decoration by Shane Vieau. Hamnet, production design by Fiona Crombie, and set decoration by Alice Felton. Marty Supreme, production design Jack Fisk, set decoration Adam Willis. One Battle After Another, production design Florence Martin, and set decoration Anthony Carlino. And Sinners production design Hannah Beechler, and set decoration Monique Champagne. The winner was absolutely, without question, Frankenstein for Tamara Deverell and Shane Vieau. The production design and set decoration in Frankenstein is pretty ridiculously impeccable. Regardless of how you feel about the movie, it is a visual, sumptuous feast in every regard, and I completely applauded their win for production design. And so did Guillermo del Toro, because, of course, they always have to show the director of the movie winning the technical awards.
I agree. The only other film I had been rooting for was Hamnet, but at the same time, Frankenstein was so creative in its production design, and they didn't really have a blueprint of what to make, versus Hamnet is a historical period piece that's nonfiction. And so you can just go back to wherever they were living back in William Shakespeare's time and be like, cool, those are the buildings. And so I do respect that win, and I do appreciate that win. I think that Frankenstein is a technical achievement on many levels. I just thought the script needed heavy editing.
Definitely. Yep. All right, that is production design. Let's move on to film editing. V, take it away.
Do I have to?
No, you don't. All right. Film editing this year nominees were One Battle After Another, F1, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. And One Battle After Another won. I wasn't necessarily like, oh, damn it, about that win, because the editing is pretty badass. I just thought Marty Supreme might have taken the editing award for that one, personally. No. Yeah.
I understand why you thought that, and there is some pretty good editing in Marty Supreme as well. That is a fair argument. And really, I'm not unhappy about this category. I was just kidding. One Battle After Another does have very good editing, especially in the car chase. That editing is what made that car chase very suspenseful, because there's no action in it to make it exciting. So they had
There's
to be...
no action in it at all. I know. It's pretty wild.
And also when Leonardo DiCaprio is running away on the rooftops and through that whole riot, that was really good editing. So I completely understand why it won. I think it deserved to win. And it's always nice when we have categories when the deserving winner actually takes the prize. And I feel like that happened a lot this year, which is another reason why we didn't hate this ceremony at all. I mean, and on top of not hating any of the movies this year, it just felt meh. That's all. Just the energy was wrong.
Just very meh.
But we're very happy to talk about these Oscars and these categories because, we're both pretty stoked with who won for the most part.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For the most part, yes.
For the most part.
For the most part.
We'll get to it. Well, I'm going to do the next two because you went and pulled those through mine because I was being wishy-washy, which is fair. So I'm going to go ahead and do costume design and makeup and hairstyling awards. For costume design, the nominees were Avatar, which is kind of funny because the costumes are fake.
Well, kind of fake. They do wear them a lot during the production. I've seen videos of them wearing some of those costumes.
True.
They got to make sure that they get all the the wind and the
way things move.
Everything.
Okay, but it doesn't matter because they didn't win.
Sorry, Brittany, my friend V here doesn't know what costume designing's all about. Apparently, I'm kidding.
Okay, how dare you?
How dare you?
So the other nominees for costume design were Frankenstein, Hamnet, which I saw a mini documentary about the costume design on Hamnet, and the subtle details were so impressive and just made everything so much more powerful. The way that William Shakespeare's vest evolves throughout the movie and why this costume designer did it. I was like, oh God, this is brilliant. So I was really rooting for them. And also Marty Supreme and Sinners were the other nominees. For makeup and hairstyling, the nominees were Frankenstein, Kokuho, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. Frankenstein won both categories.
Oh, it absolutely did, and absolutely should have.
1,000% makeup and hairstyling. There's no discussion to be made. Frankenstein won, hands down.
Hands down.
For costume design, I think I'm very happy with the Frankenstein win. It was gorgeous. Very complicated costumes throughout the whole movie. Very cool. I could have argued for Hamnet, but I'm not unhappy that Frankenstein won.
I gotcha. I like the costumes in Hamnet. I think, though, they're very...
It's something we haven't seen before.
That's exactly right.
You're absolutely
We've
right.
Seen Shakespearean movies before.
Right. We've seen
they wear
those
colors.
Pieces. Yep. You're right.
Yeah.
No, I stand corrected.
And not taking away from Malgosia Terzanska, I think is how you pronounce her last name. And they are beautiful costumes, especially with the cinematography and just everything in Hamnet. But we'll get into that later. But yes, I think beyond Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi's characters' costumes, Mia Goth had some of the most striking costumes I've seen in like the last 5 years. Even more so than Nosferatu. Like the costuming in Frankenstein is so awesome. And so super, super happy for Frankenstein for both of those categories.
And as usual, we are not covering the short categories this year, but I do want to highlight the documentary short that did win, All the Empty Rooms. I talked about it during our recap episodes. It is a documentary short that is on Netflix that visits all of the rooms that have been kept exactly how they left it of children who were killed in school shootings. Please watch the film. The award was well deserved. It was accepted by a mother from Uvalde, Texas, who lost her daughter. Watch that speech online as well. Please watch All the Empty Rooms on Netflix.
We're going to discuss the music awards now. I'm going to go original song first, and original songs were Gotta Be Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunter, Dear Me from some movie, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Via Verdi. Don't know what that movie is. And then Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Golden One, I guess.
We knew it was going to.
Everybody knew it was going to, and it's a fun song, but it's not really
it did not deserve to win.
Oscar-worthy song.
Absolutely not.
Let's be straight up. If anything, I thought it was going to be Train Dreams or I Lied to You.
I Lied to You absolutely deserved this award.
Yeah, that performance was pretty outrageous.
It was
that was pretty
incredible
spectacular stuff.
Absolutely amazing. It proved once again why it should have been a winner that night. And I do think there's a heavy-handed irony in Diane Warren's documentary being nominated for Best Original Song and not winning again because the documentary is all about Diane Warren having 17 Best Song nominations throughout her career.
That's right.
And never
That's
winning an
right.
Oscar. And so the irony there is certainly something to behold. However,
Just like last year when Demi Moore should have won.
that's not ironic. That's just a tragedy. But
Yes.
I lied to you, should have won. It's unfortunate because Golden is just, that was a pop culture win, right? It's because it was popular that
big
it
time.
won. And that's not reason enough for someone to win an Oscar.
No, it's not.
It should be
Now, you
a
look back
technical
at-
achievement. It should be an artistic achievement. That's what the Oscars should
Yeah.
be about. We know there's campaigning. We know the best person or movie doesn't always win, and we get that.
Yeah,
But that's what
yeah.
it should be in an ideal world.
Yeah. And I apologize, Diane Warren. When I was reading this list, dear me, and I was like, from something, I completely, this is a problem with this year's Oscars, immemorable moments. Because now that we're talking about it, I do remember seeing a video online the next morning of Diane Warren not winning again.
Yeah.
So many apologies to you for my ignorance in just the last few minutes. But yes, you are certainly worthy of an Oscar win. Hopefully it comes your way. And the unfortunate reality, I feel like with Diane Warren, just like with Denzel and Martin Scorsese and DiCaprio, we're so sorry it took so long to give you an Oscar will happen to her. Just like it happened this year with a director and an adapted screenplay. But we'll get into that in just a few minutes.
Yes, because now we're getting into best score instead.
Yes, best score. Nominees are Sinners by Ludwig Göransson. Love his soundtracks. Begonia, which is a strange nomination personally, but I don't remember the soundtrack very much. Jersnik Fendrix, Frankenstein, Alexandra Desplat, Hamnet, Max Richter, and One Battle After Another by Johnny Greenwood. Now, I will say the One Battle After Another soundtrack is badass because of Johnny Greenwood. He is a master scorer, master composer, especially in a future pick of mine of There Will Be Blood. But the winner this year, third time, not in a row, but his third Oscar win, the second one with Ryan Coogler. Ludwig Göransson won for Sinners, and that soundtrack is so badass as well, so I'm very, very happy for Ludwig to now be a 3-time Oscar winner. Black Panther, Oppenheimer, Sinners. Can't wait to see what's coming from him next.
I agree. I think he's really talented. I love the collaboration between him and Ryan Coogler. It's just bonkers to me that he has won more Oscars as a composer than a lot of legendary composers who we talk about a lot. He has more Oscars than Hans Zimmer.
That is unbelievable to me, but it's also awesome.
It is. But there's a whole host of legendary composers. I think Jerry Goldsmith is there, who hasn't won 3 Oscars. John Williams has won 5. Ludwig is only 2 away from that. So while I do believe he's talented, I love his scores so much, it's just crazy to me that other composers haven't been recognized as often as he has. And yes, that has to do with timing. That has to do with a whole host of things, not just him as an artist. And I get that. And it's nice that his scores have been attached to very Oscar-heavy films. And of course, that helps too. It's just, I have very mixed feelings about the record piece of this. Not that he won the other night, because I do think it was deserved. It was great. I really wanted Max Richter to win for Hamnet, but I do love him. It's just weird to think that he's won more Oscars than a lot of these other guys.
Yeah, I fully agree. And like you said, Hans Zimmer, he didn't even win for Interstellar, and that is unbelievable to me because I think that was the year that Grand Budapest Hotel just took every freaking award, and it didn't deserve any of them, but that is neither here nor there anymore. So let's move on from original score and original song. V, I'm going to let you take this one because I know that there is a quote you'd like to read on this category that you and I both seem to agree on, that this category is completely null and void. Yes.
We talk about this category a lot, actually, on our show because we love to do alternate universe casting. And if this movie was made in 2025, now 2026, who would have been cast in this film? We love having those discussions. We love casting directors, and we think it'd be really fun if we got to be casting directors. And so
definitely,
it's absolutely no shade to them, and I do think they should be honored and recognized by the Academy. Completely respect that. I have a problem with the way this award guidelines are written. So, the special rules for casting award say that the definition of best casting refers to the process by which a casting director collaborates with a film's director and producers on the creative consideration and selection of actors who comprise the acting ensemble of a film. My problem with that definition is the first thing it says is about collaboration with a director. And in Hollywood, when you say, oh, this person's a great collaborator with me, and you're a producer or director, a lot of time what you're saying is, oh, this person does what I say. And I have a problem with that piece of it. A casting director should be given an award when they cast actors who embody the essence of the character.
Mm-hmm.
Who you imagine no one else could have played this character but this actor that the casting director chose. That's what casting is all about. And so highlighting their collaboration with a director and producer, and I understand maybe they're trying to say, oh, it's because they collaborate on the director's vision, and so they understand what the director wants to do with the story. Maybe that's where they're going with this. It just makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable that they put collaboration with directors and producers first before their job, which is picking the best actor who will bring this character to life.
I gotcha.
But that being said, huge fan of casting directors. I'm glad this category is in the Oscars, but it's a bit of a nebulous category. And maybe that's because it's brand new. Maybe we'll get more clarity on it as we go along over the next couple years.
Yeah.
But also, I have concerns about this award just going to casting directors who create an ensemble cast with the most stars.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it'll go the way of best box office movie at the Golden Globes.
I totally agree. Absolutely. Fully get that. That's kind of what I was thinking too, especially when Chase Infinity was talking about Cassandra up there. I liked the way it was presented. I liked that one actor from the movie that was nominated was explaining the casting process and who the person was, but I agree. I feel like it will kind of be one of those fall by the wayside awards that will be cut from the ceremony in the future, like the live telecast or something. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, and fall
nothing
towards
against casting directors again. Just got to reiterate, nothing against casting directors.
No, not at all.
It's just a strange, and like you said, it's brand new, so maybe in like 3 years we'll be like, oh my gosh, did you see that Nina Gold casted that movie? Oh, she's gonna get the Oscar this year. Maybe that's gonna happen in the future, and cool if it does. It is now time for another technical award, one of our favorites, because this category is very, very, very important. All right, V, why don't you take this one away, because why don't you?
All right, sounds good. We love cinematographers and this category at the Oscars, and I think all of them were well-deserved nominations.
Oh, yes.
Best cinematography nominees were Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. I saw a lot of arguments online after the ceremony about Train Dreams should have won because it was the most beautifully shot movie of the year. And I want to be very clear with our audience and anybody else who happens to listen to this. Cinematography is not just about pretty shots.
No, it's not.
And so all these people online saying, oh, because it was the most beautiful movie of the year, Train Dreams should have won for cinematography. That is not the definition of the award. That is not the definition or job description of a cinematographer at all. So
no, it's not. I have said this so many times.
Oh, good.
I said it. Yeah. Well, not just on the show, but just in life and in Facebook posts in the past, because years ago when Gravity won Best Cinematography, people were like, oh my God, it's just a green screen movie. Like, oh, no. You clearly don't know a single thing about cinematography and the fact that Gravity was shot the way it was. I'm not going to get into it too much, but Gravity was an absolute magnificent opus of cinematography, and it was deserved hands down like crazy. So, yes, cinematography, a lot of people think it's just, oh, you set the camera up and you move the camera. No, they are also called director of photography for a reason. So,
yes.
V, take it away with the cinematography nominations and award.
There's so much that goes into cinematography beyond just, oh, this is a really pretty angle and it's a sunset.
Yeah.
Woo! No, it's so much more than that. That's why we talk about cinematographers so much on our show when we have our regular episodes, and why we will continue to talk about them. And this category and this award this year was so awesome. I was pumped.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy for this award because Autumn Durald Arkapaw won. She is the first woman in 98 years to win in this category.
Yes.
She is the first Black woman, and also she's Filipino.
Yeah.
She was also a badass. She's also super talented. I love that Ryan Coogler ran back and picked up her young son and brought him to the stage so he could watch his mother win this award and give her speech.
Oh, that's awesome.
So adorable. She's just uber talented. I love that she was recognized. Sinners absolutely deserve this win this year. Everything about this award made me so happy, and I'm just so thrilled for her and that we can say her name and celebrate her as one of the greats.
Definitely agree. It is a wonderfully shot flick.
It's definitely one of my favorite wins of the night.
Oh, yeah.
And now moving on past the technical heavy awards, we're going to dive into animated feature, and I'm going to let John take this one because I ended up only watching one of the nominees this year, unfortunately. So he can speak to that much better than I can.
All right, let's do it. Animated feature film nominees, K-pop Demon Hunters. I saw it once. My wife saw it 6 times.
Yes, she did.
Arco is another nominee. I wanted to watch it, but it was a $20 to $25 rental on Apple, and I just couldn't bring myself to rent it for that much.
I respect that.
My apologies, Natalie Portman and everybody involved in Arco. The next movie was Ilio from Disney, which I saw in theaters last year and enjoyed very much. The other nominee was Little Amelie, or The Character of Rain, and the final nominee was Zootopia 2. Out of all the ones that I saw, I honestly thought that Little Amelie or The Character of Rain was going to win based off of the technicality of the animation. Now, granted, the winner, K-Pop Demon Hunter for Netflix, cool win. It's a very cool animated movie. It's a lot of fun. It's very flashy and very colorful. I just felt that Little Amelie or The Character of Rain had more hand-drawn animation, if I can say that, which, well, I am going to say that because it did. But either way, K-Pop Demon Hunter's winning. That's cool. That's cool, I guess. I knew Zootopia 2 was not going to win based off of the fact that K-Pop Demon Hunters was nominated.
Yes.
Just Little Amelie of Rain. Personally, the animation was my favorite part. The music is amazing. Story-wise, I'm not a 3-year-old girl, so I didn't really get super invested in the story. However, suffice to say, it's still a very beautifully drawn flick. And still, congratulations to K-Pop Demon Hunters. We did not mention this, but I really liked Conan's jabs at the Netflix CEO. That just happened to be at the Oscars this year.
I personally like the comments about ballet and opera better, but I see where you're going with that.
Oh, yeah, those were pretty good. Yeah.
I just wasn't excited about that category this year, which is why after watching K-Pop Demon Hunters and getting a lot closer to the award ceremony, I knew they were going to win. So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm either going to say, oh, yeah, okay, this deserved to win because nothing else was that exciting, or I'm going to get really pissed because I watched a really good animated film. I'm going to know they're not going to win, so...
Yeah. No, totally.
I just couldn't bring myself to commit the energy to do that because there were other movies to watch instead.
I understand.
And that includes the next category of films that are definitely should be watched. As Best Documentary Feature, the nominees were The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the movies that I did see in this category. Come See Me in the Good Light, beautiful film, one of my favorite movies of last year. It's just so poignant about life and death and love. It's an Apple-produced movie. Highly, highly recommend Come See Me in a Good Light. It's now an Oscar nominee.
I do got to watch it.
Oh, yeah, and I think I'll watch it, I would say every 3 to 5 years as a reminder to let go of the little bullshit annoyances of life and just embrace your loved ones and how beautiful life can be. And I think it's just a wonderful reminder for everyone. I will continue recommending that film.
Sweet.
The Perfect Neighbor is a Netflix-produced movie that you and I watched.
Yes.
It is an infuriating film, but also a masterpiece.
Yep, very, very good movie.
And lastly, the other one I saw was Mr. Nobody Against Putin. That is actually the film that won. I understand why it won. It's this poor guy risked his life for this film. It is about a teacher in a rural area of Russia whose classroom, slowly but surely over a multi-year period, evolves into a recruitment center for the war against Ukraine.
Whoa.
Yeah. It is about Russia and Putin's campaign to get as many people on the front lines as possible for his war against Ukraine. And
wow.
It's intense, it's stressful, it's heartbreaking. It's a great documentary. All of them are worth renting or streaming, wherever you can get them.
Good deal. I wanted to see all of them. I just did not have the chance to, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that was a really nice mix for us this year, though, is that it seems like the films that one of us missed, the other one was able to cover. I really like that because, as all of you know, John and I try to watch every single nominee before the ceremony, so we can be well informed when giving you our critique on the winners. And so we will continue to do that every year, which is why for the next category, Best International Feature, will be spoken about by John.
Oui, international feature. That's my terrible French accent.
God, that was on par with your terrible, was it Hitchcock? What? No.
Oh, definitely. My name is Alfred.
No, that was actually not terrible. What was the one you did recently that we were like, oh God, never do that again?
I don't remember, but I remember it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, audience, tell us the one that...
It was bad.
It's just in the last couple months that was...
It's like, that was my terrible accent. And you actually agreed for one of the first times in a long time about stuff like
something?
that.
Anyway.
Oh, it might have been Australian. Yeah, I think so.
It was...
It really doesn't matter.
I mean, it was a great moment. Don't get me wrong, I was very entertained, but yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. So international feature film nominees this year. I saw 3 of the 5. This film comes to us from Tunisia, the voice of Hind Rajab. Never did see that one. Don't know anything about it. Hopefully it was good. Sirat from Spain. Apparently this movie's pretty badass. I also did not rent this one because of the hefty rental price tag. It Was Just an Accident, coming to us from France. And The Secret Agent from Brazil. And Sentimental Value from Norway. Somehow Sentimental Value won over The Secret Agent, and It Was Just an Accident. V and I both watched Sentimental Value, including a couple other friends of mine, and none of us could really seem to wrap our head around what that movie was. I did not enjoy it very much. I like Stellan Skarsgård. I like Elle Fanning. It just did not land for me at all. I dozed off a couple of times, so I had to rewind it and catch up, and I just didn't care. And I don't know how it got so many nominations, but hey, maybe I'm missing some. Maybe I'm just not a dad and have young daughters that I can relate to. I don't know.
You.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
I guess it's an interesting story, but it goes back to like certain movies that came out this last year. And we'll talk about this when we get into Best Actress category. It wasn't anything we haven't seen before.
Agreed.
And I feel like The Secret Agent we've seen it before, but this version of the Secret Agent story was so different and so deep diving, if you will, and it was just an accident. Kind of blew my mind because I did not know a thing about it. And when I watched it, It Was Just an Accident, it ended and I was like, whoa, that was a wild ass flick. So I would have gone Secret Agent or It Was Just an Accident over Sentimental Value, but Sentimental Value was the front runner like from the get-go.
From the
last
get-go.
summer.
And
I don't even know.
the thing that bothers me about it being nominated in this category in particular is that it was written by an American and it's an English language movie. Why
Well,
can't
there's a lot of Norwegian in it, though.
There
a lot
is,
of Norwegian
but-
in it. But they do speak English a lot, yeah.
I think that this is the one category that every other country in the world that makes movies can even have a chance to be recognized by the Academy. Don't get me started on that whole thing because I could go on and on about the Academy not recognizing more international features in regular categories because they should. But I actually think No Other Choice should have been nominated and maybe won. I have not seen The Secret Agent, so I can't speak to that. But
Did you see No Other Choice?
oh my God, you're going to love that film.
Okay, that's all I've heard from people is that I would love that movie,
You would
and I wanted
love
to
it.
see it. And it only lasted like 2 weeks in town, so I completely missed it. But I'm looking forward to it. It's Park Chan-wook flick that just came out like last
October
fall or something like that. Yeah. I heard so many good things about it, and you're like the 8th person that's like, you love that movie.
Yeah.
So I do got to see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
it's-
major snub. I know everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's
that's
no other choice.
actually what I said too. And because it's a great film, because it's from South Korea, it's really well made, it's wonderfully acted. There's so many reasons I love that movie, and it's really dark and messed up, but also funny, which is why everybody says that you would like it. Yeah, Park Chan-wook has also made Old Boy and a couple other films that have made it to America that Americans love. So I was actually shocked given his history with the Oscars. And so, there's just so many reasons why Sentimental Value, like you said, it's nothing we haven't seen before. And one of the things I thought of after watching that movie was, if I want to see a shitty dad and his angry daughter, I'll watch Birdman again. It was a better movie.
Yeah, there we go.
Like, maybe it was just overhyped for us, and we went in with really high expectations, and that's why we're pretty disappointed. But yeah, I do.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't actually have any expectations. It was like, all right, Sentimental Value. I like Elle Fanning and I like Stellan Skarsgård, so I'll check it out. And about an hour in, I was like, when is this going to start?
It felt so long to me, too.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did. And it's so weird because Secret Agent and Sentimental Value were also in the Best Picture category. So there were 2 international features on top of the 8 that were U.S. made. It's just very strange.
See, that I don't have a problem
with. It goes back to the
more
whole
international
I don't
Best Picture,
either.
more international features in Best Actor categories. And that is an
no,
all-encompassing actor for both genders. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, because the last time I think that happened was Parasite, and it won international and it won Best Picture.
Yeah.
So it was just strange to see 2 of them, and one of them just not be very good, and the other one be one that could have taken it. But either way, it is what it is. We don't vote
not yet
on the Oscars, not yet, but one day. So Sentimental Value, international feature film winner. Congrats to everybody involved. We just did not like it, including a lot of other people. Let's get into 2 of our other favorite awards. Not that any of them are really less favorites than others.
True.
But we are on the category of writing. We are going to do adapted screenplay and original screenplay. V, which category do you want?
I'll just get adapted out of the way.
Sounds good.
The nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay were Hamnet, written by Chloe Zhao and Maggie O'Farrell, who is the same woman who wrote the book, which I love whenever the author can be a part of adapting their novel into a screenplay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Train Dreams by
She wrote the book.
Train Dreams by Clint Bentley and Greg Quaidar, Begonia by Will Tracy, Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro, and One Battle After Another by Paul Thomas Anderson. And Paul Thomas Anderson won. I really wish Hamnet would have. I think it was well deserved. But I know how much everybody's fallen over themselves about One Battle After Another this year, so it was expected. I think the coolest thing about Paul Thomas Anderson is that he's married to Maya Rudolph.
That is pretty sweet. Pretty good for him.
I'm not a huge fan of his movies.
I get it. Yeah, we'll see what happens when you see There Will Be Blood, though.
I've seen it before. I hated it when I was in my 20s.
Oh.
I need to rewatch it now that I'm older and have a lot more patience.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well.
I just rewatched...
It's on the list in the future. So.
Yeah, and I just rewatched Boogie Nights recently within the last 3 years. It's a good film. It just feels similar to One Battle After Another, like he's telling us how clever he is. And maybe that's just my interpretation, and he's not actually intending to say any of that, but that's just how I feel when I watch his films.
I gotcha. I think his worst movie that I've ever seen is Licorice Pizza. That movie is absolute
awful.
Trash. Yeah. Anybody that likes that movie, I just don't understand you.
So let's get into original screenplay instead.
Original screenplay nominees: Sentimental Value, written by Eskil Vogt and Joachim Trier. Marty Supreme, written by Ronald Braunstein and Josh Safdie. It Was Just an Accident, written by Jafar Panhi. Script collaborators: Nadir Savyar, Shadmir Rastin, Mehdi Mahmoudian. Please forgive me if I've pronounced any of those names incorrectly, which I likely have. Blue Moon, Robert Kaplow, and Sinners by Ryan Coogler. In my personal opinion, I've seen all these movies. I thought Blue Moon might have taken original screenplay because of the way that movie is written. It is so beautiful. That movie is extremely underrated. We'll talk about it a little bit more as we get into the later categories. But the winner this year was Sinners by Ryan Coogler. Definitely congratulations to the guy. Very cool that he won. It's a good movie. I just thought Blue Moon was going to take this one.
Especially since it's a bottle episode, the amount of talent that you need to write something compelling to show it for 2 hours in basically the same room.
Yeah.
That's tough. So I agree with you.
Big time.
The way you talk about Blue Moon, I'd certainly think that was a category that it could have taken. And yeah, same. I'm happy that Sinners won, but I kind of wish a guy named Jafar had won an Oscar. That's awesome. But yeah, I think it's one of those categories, and we had a lot of those this year, right? That we're not unhappy about who the winner is, but we would have also been happy if somebody else won too. And that's a good position to be in compared to last year.
Fully. Now it is time to jump into directing. V, you want to take directing?
I see what you're doing. Best Director nominees were Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme. I don't say this that often on this podcast, but fuck that guy. And for anyone who doesn't know, he created unsafe and exploitative working conditions for an underage actress on his film and knew about it and kept going anyway after he found out she was underage. There's a whole host of controversies around Josh Safdie. And I also hated his movie this year, so it's a twofer.
Yeah, I know, you really did.
I was really hoping Chloe Zhao would have won.
And I never in my life thought I would say this. I thought so too.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah. I thought Chloe Zhao was totally going to take this one.
I was really hoping she would. Second to that, Ryan Coogler, of course, for Sinners. But instead, who we all really deep down knew who was going to win because it was trending that way, Paul Thomas Anderson won for One Battle After Another.
Yay.
It was his first Oscar for Best Director. A lot of people said it was a career win, so there's that. But I just think there were more deserving people in that category. So moving on.
Let's jump into the acting awards this year. It is time to get into the actresses awards. This is the supporting actress category. Truthfully, I don't think any of them deserved any of the nominees. I don't think any of them were super blown away performances. That's just my opinion. Teyana Taylor was one of the nominees for One Battle After Another. Yumi Masaku for Sinners. Inga Ibsdottir Lilias for Sentimental Value. Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. 2 Sentimental Value supporting actress nominees. And Amy Madigan for Weapons. I know I saw a lot of Teyana Taylor was going to win the Oscar, and I saw a lot of Amy Madigan was going to win the Oscar. The other 3 weren't really in a lot of conversations that I saw. I don't think Teyana Taylor really blew me away in One Battle After Another, and Amy Madigan was good in Weapons, but Weapons was not that great of a movie. Yeah, I'm saying it, because it's on my could-miss list. It was not on my should-miss list. It's a good movie. It's structurally done very well. It just kind of fell flat. And Amy Madigan's performance wasn't anything we haven't seen before.
It was a horror movie. I'm stoked it won. I don't care.
No, I'm glad. It was more of a thriller, though. It wasn't scary. Yeah. It was not a horror. I understand where you're coming from. It's very cool that it got its recognition, and it was awesome seeing the director have his emotional moment. We do?
She was the wife in Field of Dreams. We love her.
Oh, well, you love her. Field of Dreams is a good movie, but it's not something I've ever watched.
When she was talking down that parent, that uptight bitch who, at the parent-teacher conference, when she was like, you want to vote for this Ava Braun who wants to ban books? Or you want to be in the land of the free? Like, that whole monologue was amazing.
I don't remember that part at all.
Oh, God, rewatch Field of Dreams. What am I doing?
Oh, I thought that was in Weapons. I was like,
no, Field of Dreams.
I know it's in Field of Dreams. I know. No, but it just, I think what my problem is it goes back to the fact that Toni Collette should have fucking won for Hereditary, or at least been nominated.
But
and now Amy Madigan is getting, but Amy Madigan, whatever. Good, congrats to Amy Madigan for Weapons. Did not think that she deserved it.
I'm happy she won. I love her and Ed Harris.
Yeah. She had a cool. Her acceptance speech.
Do you know what
awesome.
though?
I will give her that. She was great.
Amanda Seyfried in The Housemaid should have won.
Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee should have been nominated and fucking won, but it came out too late for the Academy to give any sort of recognition.
Well, that was also a Best Actress category. I don't think she should have won.
That would have been a Best Actress category. Yeah. But if you think Seyfried would have been supporting for Housemaid and not?
She's gone
Sweeney?
through like 40 minutes of the middle of the movie. Yeah, of course she's supporting.
True. That's a solid point. Yeah, that's true. All right, yeah, I could have given that one too. Yeah. But either way, I'm happy for her. I just didn't think it was super Oscar-worthy performance, but very cool acceptance speech. Time for actor in a supporting role.
Yes.
And the nominees are...
The nominees are Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. I love that he got nominated.
Yeah.
Delroy Lindo for Sinners. Miles Caton should have been nominated instead for Sinners.
Oh, interesting.
Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. And surprising no one whatsoever, Sean Penn won for One Battle After Another, which I disagree with, and this is actually the category I disagree with most heavily this year, and most vehemently, because Sean Penn's character was actually just a caricature and very one note. It didn't take a lot of acting chops, and I can imagine a whole host of other actors doing the exact same performance for this movie.
Agreed.
I don't think it was very impactful. I don't think he hit us where we should have been hit for a performance that is Oscar winning. I mean, I even think Benicio del Toro was more deserving, and he was in the same damn movie.
I agree with Benicio del Toro should have over Sean Penn, yeah.
So yes, I actually strongly disagree, and I love that Sean Penn thinks awards are such bullshit that he didn't even bother to show up.
Yeah.
I respect that. Because he's even come out and said in the past, the best movie and the best performance is not the one that usually wins at the Oscars. And you know what? He's right. And we've talked about this, that a lot of it has to do with campaigning. Even though he didn't campaign at all, he still won, which is hilarious.
Nope, sure did.
But yeah, so it's so funny because I agree with his sentiments. Sentimental value. And I think there were better performances for supporting actors this year. I knew Jacob Elordi would never ever win, but I thought it was definitely award worthy. Miles
for sure,
in Sinners as the young man. Incredible performance. Carried the movie, was the heart and soul of that film. Absolutely could have won, and I would have been thrilled for him. So yes, I think the reason why I'm upset about this category is there were truly better performances last year.
Yep.
And the guy who was a caricature that everybody was just so pumped about, because similar to Don't Look Up, right? They're just so excited. It's just, it's too much. Too much.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was pretty bummed out about that category.
Understandably so.
All right, Best Actor.
Time for actor in a leading role. The nominees this year were Ragnar Mora for The Secret Agent. Very good performance. Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another.
No.
Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, which I had his back big time for Marty Supreme to win this year. Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, and Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Michael B. Jordan won, and I'm still not sure I agree with it. I understand that he played twins, and I understand that he played two completely different personalities. I get it. And I like Michael B. Jordan. I've been a fan of his since before Black Panther. I like him in a very, very small movie with Zac Efron called That Awkward Moment that I really am a big fan of. I still have not seen any of the Creed movies.
You need to watch Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station I definitely have to watch. But Black Panther, when he shows up, I remember just being like, damn. Michael B. Jordan, hell yeah, I'm on board. Big time. Big fan of his. I just didn't think that he was going to win. And not that I didn't want him to win. He did a great job in Sinners. Sinners is a great movie. Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon was transformative. It didn't even look like Ethan Hawke. His cadence, the way he was talking, the way he was carrying himself, he was Lorenz Hart, and it was a completely insanely good movie that did get recognition. It was nominated for a few Oscars. I really was just like, damn, it's going to be Ethan Hawke. That would be awesome. Or it was going to be Timothée Chalamet, both based on real people. Now, Sinners, with the backstory and everything, of course, that is based on real people as well. Now, granted, the vampire aspect, definitely not. Michael B. Jordan was great. I was definitely glad to see him win. I gave him his round of applause, and I liked his acceptance speech. I thought it was great. I do look forward to seeing what we get from him in the future, as I always have. I just thought Ethan Hawke was going to take the prize this year.
I think in another year he would have. I think Blue Moon would have been celebrated much stronger in another year, and it was just bad timing.
Yeah.
And my counterpoint to that would be, if Sean Penn's performance is award-worthy, then Michael B. Jordan's sure as shit is.
Oh, yeah.
And you can compare it that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it wasn't
Sure.
as transformative or as powerful as other performances or ones that you've seen from Michael B. Jordan in the past. I disagree.
Yeah.
I think it was a very impressive performance times two. And I do think he is deserving, but it's a lot more subtle. So I understand what you're saying. And we could see Michael B. Jordan in that performance, right? Because it doesn't look any different. And so I get what you're saying. And I haven't seen Blue Moon, but based on everything I've heard, it does sound like Ethan Hawke, maybe he did give the better performance this year. And it's once again an example of Oscars not always awarding that. But I just go back to, okay, all these people hating on it, and not to say you are, I'm just saying people online be like, oh, Michael B. Jordan didn't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude.
Oh, yeah.
If Sean Penn deserved to win for his one-note performance, Michael B. Jordan, like, you can't say shit about that, right? Like, if you're not complaining about Sean Penn winning, so that's my counter argument for anybody saying that Michael B. Jordan should have won. He's been acting since he was a kid, and he has been solid since he was a kid. His performances in The Wire, he showed up in the show Bones a couple times, and he immediately caught my attention back in the day. This was like, almost 20 years ago now. And so he is a very talented actor. He seems to give 110% to every single performance. And I was very happy for him to win. And it was a fantastic performance in a masterpiece of a movie. So I can understand the argument. And I do feel bad for Ethan Hawke because everybody has said he's just been killing it lately the last couple years.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he has.
So I do hope that he certainly gets his accolades sooner rather than later, too.
I imagine he will.
Okay, on to my favorite category of the night. I was so excited for this. I knew it was coming. And even though it was not a surprise, I was still absolutely thrilled because that is the award for Best Actress this year. The nominees were Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue. Still not sure about that one, but... Renate Reinsve for Sentimental Value. I apologize. Oof. And Emma Stone for Begonia. Surprising no one because she had swept the award season from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Jessie Buckley won for Hamnet, my favorite movie last year, my favorite performance of last year. Everything about that was so deserving and just such a joy to watch and witness. And if you haven't seen Hamnet yet, it's streaming on Peacock. Please, please, please do yourself and I a favor by watching that film.
Do me a favor and watch that movie, too.
Yes, John finally watched it, and he loved it, too.
I have not been able to talk about it.
You haven't?
I posted on my social medias because I had to get, something out about it. I told you right when it ended, I texted you, V, that it was in my top 5 and one of my favorite movies of 2025. Absolutely should not miss Hamnet, which blew me away in more capacities than one because our audience knows how much I hate Chloe Zhao for bringing us Nomadland. But Hamnet was something that I did not expect at all. All I read was, oh, it's such an interesting take on grief, and the performances are great, and la 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 la.
It's so
and
much
I'm like,
more.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people said about Nomadland. That movie blew, and so I waited as long as I absolutely could to watch Hamnet. And I'm a big Jessie Buckley fan. Men is great. Love her in Wicked Little Letters. Loved her in Chernobyl. And absolutely, V and I both loved the living out of her in The Bride, which just came out a few weeks ago. Hamnet was something else. Man, oh man, oh man. There are 2 scenes in Hamnet that crushed me. One I'm sure everybody knows about, but there's another one where she's screaming for her mother.
Yeah.
That scene, holy fucking shit. I almost had to pause the movie because I was crying so fucking much.
Yeah.
I was losing my fucking mind. And the other scene too, just like I just like slumped down in my seat. I was like, oh my God. Whoa. And just reading so much more about the process and then seeing the behind the scenes stuff and hearing Chloe Zhao talk about it. And I've actually watched a lot of interviews with Chloe Zhao now because I loved Hamnet so much. It really was a spectacle, and I will watch it again. I don't know when. I know Amy wants to watch it, but she wants to read the book first.
Oh,
so
God.
I might have to have her watch it on her own because I will be ugly crying.
And then
again.
she'll make fun of you.
And she will make fun of me, and then I won't be able to. And I'm going to tell this is how much Hamnet affected me. After Hamnet, the next day, I watched The Fountain. I didn't cry for the first time watching The Fountain this time around because I was still emotionally depleted from Hamnet.
Right.
I wanted to cry again, and I could not find it in me to cry like I did when I watched Hamnet. And Jessie Buckley, when she won, I literally was like, yeah! Like I was so happy because I was so worried that Rose Byrne was going to win. Nothing against Rose Byrne. We love Rose Byrne. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You was like sentimental value. It's nothing we haven't seen before from a female portraying a hardworking mother that's slowly crumbling on the inside. I'm not diminishing that sort of lifestyle or that sort of thing in any way, shape, or form. I'm a man. I have no idea what it's like being a parent, what it's like being a mother. But Hamnet was a better motherly performance than If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And that's my opinion.
And I'm so glad you finally watched it. I'm glad that you went in with open arms and just an open mind about that movie because I know that you don't like Chloe Zhao. Historically speaking, I think you're a fan now.
I do now.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to be clear to our audience about is it's so much more than an exploration on grief. It's so much more than a portrayal of motherhood.
Yeah.
For someone who is not a mom, and for John, who's not a woman, this movie still affected us. And that it could transcend demographics makes it a masterpiece. And I will continue talking about this movie for years. I will continue recommending it for years as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so spectacular from the get-go in every layer of producing this movie, from the costumes to the sets to the performances. I wish that young boy had been nominated because he deserved a nomination for supporting actor. Paul Mescal deserved as well. I think Paul
awesome.
Deserved way more than Stellan Skarsgård.
Fully agree with that. Yeah, hell yeah.
Everything about this movie is perfection. It's so beautifully made, and it just feels like everyone who went into that film went into it with their hearts, with so much emotion and commitment, not as a business, not as let's make a movie that'll make money or get awards, but as humans wanting to tell a very human story. And that transferred on the screen. I ran out of Kleenexes at the movie theater when I watched this film. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I wish I would have seen it in theaters, of course. I tried to, but I got off of work too late and it had already started. On top of those 2 scenes, there's another one towards the end that I'm just like...
Oh, I mean, I cried the last 20 minutes of the entire film. Like, the entire last 20 minutes, I was just crying. I was like, well,
oh, my God.
Might as well just accept this. This is happening. And for someone who cries often in movies, yet sometimes doesn't like to, depending on who I'm with. I mean, you and I give each other a safe space, obviously, to cry in movies. We've talked about that before. But even for people, and we say this about documentaries, right? Of like, this documentary is so good, even if you don't like documentaries, you should watch it. Same with this film. Even if you don't like dramas, even if you don't like sad movies, watch this film. It's transcendent.
Yep.
Congratulations,
and that kid that played
Jesse.
Hamnet, Jacoby Jupe. Oh, man. We're going to see a lot of him, that's for sure.
Yes.
And one of the little girls in the movie was actually in that new Jason Statham movie, Shelter. So that was kind of cool to see her in another movie.
That movie doesn't count
Jessie
because
Buckley,
it's not a noun description of his job.
Well, kind of, actually.
The Shelterer.
Either way, no, it's fine. The Shelterer. Yeah, no. But yes, Jessie Buckley, fully deserved. Can't wait to see what's coming from her in the future also.
Anything. I will watch anything
amazing.
she's in.
Yeah.
She's my new favorite actress along with Toni Collette.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I will follow her to whatever project she goes to.
Same. That is every category except for Best Picture. It is now time to reveal, if you have not already found out, what won Best Picture at the Oscars this year. The nominees. I'll do 5, and V, you do 5?
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Nominees for Best Picture this year: Train Dreams, Sinners, Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, Marty Supreme.
The other half of the nominees were One Battle After Another, Hamnet, Frankenstein, F1, and Begonia.
Seeing Begonia get a Best Picture nom was pretty strange to me. I liked that movie a lot. I just did not think that was going to be a Best Picture nom.
Especially because you said it wasn't even the best movie from him, from Yorgos.
No, it's not Yorgos or Emma Stone's best movie, but this is the third time that they've been nominated with each other. So that's kind of because of The Favorite, Emma Stone, and then Poor Things, and now this.
Yes, because
she won for
Kinds
Poor
of
Things,
Kindness was
sweet.
not nominated as much. That's true.
No, it was not.
So before we get into the winner, let's talk about who we wished would have won.
That's a tough one. Maybe not as tough, but Sentimental Value and The Secret Agent, cool noms. I didn't think Marty Supreme was going to win, but I thought it was a cool nomination, especially for everybody involved. But apparently Josh Safdie has some issues that I was unaware of.
I loved F1. Shouldn't have been nominated.
Okay, good. Yeah, F1 was not a Best Picture-worthy movie.
No, not at all.
Not at all, no. It didn't get, it got a sound nomination. I think that was it. Either way, it doesn't matter how many nominations a movie gets. To bring it to a Best Picture nominee
Visual
at all.
effects, too.
Yeah. It was just kind of weird that one got nominated.
No, it wasn't a Best Picture worthy nomination.
No.
And I love that film. It's in the top 5 of the year for me, and I still be frank and say that.
Right.
Speaking of being frank, Frankenstein was also not deserving of a Best Picture nom.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
No.
I know Del Toro's been getting a lot of the Best Picture noms over the last few years, and he did win with Shape of Water, which is pretty awesome. But either way, Frankenstein, F1, Begonia, Sentimental Value were certainly the nominees for Best Picture that I was like, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Marty Supreme was based on a true story.
Not surprised
Hamnet,
it was nominated.
No, neither am I. But Hamnet, we just gushed about after we talked about Jessie Buckley, so we all know how we feel about Hamnet. I honestly thought that it was going to be Hamnet this year. I really did. When they walked out there and did Best Pictures, like, it's going to be Hamnet.
Especially because it won the Golden Globe.
Yeah, or it was either going to be Hamnet or Sinners. I was like, it's going to be one of those two.
I thought so,
because
too.
everybody is like, oh, it's got to be Sinners. It's got to be Sinners. It's the best movie of the year. It's a great movie. It's not the best movie of the year.
No, Hamnet was.
Out
of that list, Hamnet was absolutely the best.
Yeah, out of the 10, Hamnet was the best nominee and best movie of the 10 that were nominated for sure.
In every sense of the word, in terms of creating a best movie.
Yes, absolutely. And then, of course, One Battle After Another was nominated, and One Battle After Another won.
I'm not angry I was last year.
I'm not angry.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Absolutely
I'm
not.
just
No way.
shrugging.
Yeah, just like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of figured it was going to be that when PTA won director.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, he's probably going to win Best Picture now.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wish it would have split.
I was... Yeah, that
would have been
cool.
fine with
yeah.
me. Because if it was going to be against those two, Sinners and One Battle After Another, I wish it would have at least been a split. So Ryan Coogler wins Best Director and One Battle wins Best Picture, or vice versa.
Sure.
I would have preferred that to what happened.
Yeah, I would have preferred Chloe Zhao for director and then One Battle for picture, or Hamnet for Best Picture and PTA for director.
Okay, I'm going to be greedy and say Chloe Zhao for Best Director and Hamnet for Best Picture, because that's my ideal world right there.
No, that's totally fine.
And honest,
totally fine.
And truly, that would have been awards to the best example of directing that year, to the best created film that year. And that's the thing, is that, was One Battle the best crafted movie last year? No. Absolutely not.
No, it was not.
So we're not angry. It's not like last year with Anora at all, which is good.
No.
It's more like... we're just going to... And that's been the sentiment. Haha. And that's been the sentiment the entire episode and this entire awards show, is that it's just not something we're really going to remember or go back to.
Right. It's true.
So I'm glad that you and I could commiserate over that, and I'm so happy that you watched Hamnet and loved it too. I feel like
yes.
I have more support with my love for that movie, which makes me really happy. And so, yes, I'm glad that we were able to talk this through. It's nice to be able to talk to someone about your experiences of love or frustration with any situation you have. So, yeah, it's okay. And I think, you know what? We should grade this year's Oscars. I give it a solid B-.
Yeah, B- is a good grade. I'll give it a B- too. Yeah. I would give it a B- high C+ because of all the technical problems that they had.
Yeah.
They need to fire that technical director and bring somebody in that knows what they're doing.
Or whatever software or something new that you tried this year, don't do that again.
Yeah. Leave AI out of it.
Yes, exactly.
That is our recap of the Oscars, the 2025 Oscars, the 98th Annual Academy Awards. And it feels good to not be angry about winners this year like we were last year. I actually listened to our recap of last year before I was driving into work on Sunday, before Sunday's Oscars. And I was getting so mad that I stopped listening halfway through because I was so pissed because I knew it was coming. And I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. Last year was such a travesty. And I really felt bad for Jessie Buckley having to accept the award from Mickey Madsen because nobody's heard from Mickey Madsen since she won for doing absolutely nothing. And hopefully we won't have to see her anymore. I was very glad that Sean Baker did not show up to present director. And that is my stance on this year's Oscar. So B-, high C+. We'll see what happens this next year, but maybe Testament of Anne Lee will come back around in the next 11 months for next year's Oscars for Amanda Seyfried and all involved. Maybe The Bride might get some technical awards or makeup awards nominations.
Costume.
You never know. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Costume? Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, that about does it. Next week, we will be jumping into our regularly scheduled program and be discussing movies that we've watched, and we'll break down again for you. And we're going to, like we normally do here at Movies You Miss Podcast, we like to do either an Oscar episode before or after. And what I mean by that is we discuss movies that were either nominated or won Oscars, and we're going to be doing that next week. And next week's going to be a fun one. So, V, why don't you tell everybody the film that you're picking for next week that won an Oscar?
To celebrate the 2026 Oscars, we are rewinding back 80 years to the 1946 Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Where we are picking 2 Best Picture nominated films. John picked... Well, I'm not going to tell our audience. You're going to tell our audience. So instead, I'll tell our audience what I picked. Sorry. Woo, getting way
I changed
ahead
my
of
mind
myself.
already.
Exciting. Okay.
No, I didn't change my mind.
Oh. I was like, well, there's only a couple to choose from. So instead, I picked...
Right.
So instead, we're going to talk about what I picked because I know that answer. And that is the 1946 Best Picture nominated film Mildred Pierce. And that stars Joan Crawford.
I've never seen Mildred Pierce.
I've seen it once. I'm excited to bring it back. And I'm excited to talk about classic movies again. We haven't done that in a little while.
No, we have not.
All right. What is your 1946 Best Picture nominated film?
1946 Best Picture nominated film. This film did come out in 1945. This film is directed by Alfred Hitchcock. This film stars Ingrid Bergman and Gregory Peck. This is one of my favorite Hitchcock films, Spellbound.
Never saw it. I'm so excited.
I saw it once, and we'll get into that when we get into it. Ha-ha!
I'm really looking forward to this. I'm excited to do old movies again.
It'll be a good episode, that is for sure. I believe both of them are black and white films.
They are.
Correct?
It's 1946.
All right.
Goddamn right they are.
Yeah, they are. Technicolor was still working its way into our lives, even though the Wizard of Oz had already happened.
Yep.
All right. So please, guys, rate, review, subscribe, follow us on all social media. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts. We haven't had a review in a minute. It'd be great to get some new voices out there and see what we should or shouldn't work on because this podcast is perfect.
You're perfect.
Oh, you are too.
Liar! But we do need to remind our audience, because we haven't had this reminder in quite a long time, that if you write us a review on Apple Podcasts, you will be entered to win future reviewer-requested movies. So that is a contest that we host. We haven't done it in a little while, but we host that, and when you're a winner, you get to pick the movie that we discuss the next week. So please, if you haven't written up a review for us on Apple Podcasts, do so, and you will be entered to win. And we just love hearing from you.
We do. So we'll see you guys next week for a fun, way back in the day Oscars recap episode.
Yeah.
And here at Movies You Miss Podcast, we always close out with film as a form of art, and in art, all opinions are valid, except if you think
Jessie Buckley isn't the next great of our generation.
Oh, I believe she is.
Yeah. Excited to see what else she gives us. I will go to every single
Wait.
movie she makes.
You and me both. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.
Bye-bye.